So he wasn't alone. Now, at the same time, you don't know what was being said to him by these other kids. And quite frankly, to tell you the truth, when you got black teenagers involved who do not respect the law as it is, they could have been saying anything. They could have been saying a number of threatening things to the officer. I don't know. We can't hear what they're saying. It's not there. No, maybe it'll come out that they didn't say anything, or maybe it'll come out that they did say threatening things, or maybe they were just questioning what he was doing to the girl. But I don't think this was so racially motivated, at least on the part of the police. I think it was an incident that got started because it was something that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Follow the rules. Just follow the rules. That's all you got to do. Now, I guess or a little bit earlier today, Officer Eric Casebold resigned his position as police officer in McKinney, Texas. And I got to tell you, he if the case is that nobody was harmed, thankfully, but if the case is that he overreacted. And this guy is supposed to have been, a well-trained, highly trained officer in that is trained in these types of situations, or to deal with these types of situations. He obviously forgot that training, and he was, called out on the mat. His chief of police, his boss, basically said that his actions were on the video were indefensible. I agree. You don't pull out the gun unless your life is threatened or somebody else's life is threatened. And it didn't look that way. But again, we don't know what those kids were saying. And that he wasn't alone because two other officers came into the picture and started chasing down a couple of the of the suspects, I guess, if you want to call them that. So the police officer in question is no longer a police officer there. He quit. So you have to ask, is that the end of it? Well, that probably won't be the end of it at all. Probably won't be the end of it. But at the same time, there's probably going to be more stuff that comes out about this, on both sides. And I don't know which direction this is going to go. I can't tell you. But I can tell you that it was an incident that was, considering what was happening before the police were called, it was going to be an incident that was not going to end well because the police were going to be called, and the police were called. Now, again, look, I'm calling blacks out on the mat here. There are cases where there is true improper profiling, and there are cases that there are true police racism. I don't believe this is one of them. And you cannot just start yelling racism every time a cop shows up. You got to start acting civil. You got to start acting like you're civilized. You got to start acting like you're intelligent. Because, you got people out there, especially racists out there, who are saying that blacks are nothing more than animals. They're unintelligent. They're nothing but violence mongers. And by your actions, you prove them right. And I'm telling you, like Bill Cosby said, it's time to pull up your pants, start speaking the Queen's English, and cut this nonsense crap out. Stop this thuggery-ness. This is ridiculous. And if you're going to be in the suburb or in the city or wherever you go, don't go around like you got acid on your feet, destroying everything that you step on. had an aunt. She's long since passed away, but she used to say the same thing. She said, these folk walk around here like they got acid on their feet. Everywhere they go, they destroy stuff. And if you look at certain neighborhoods, this is just not only typical of blacks, but you can walk into any ghetto, I guess, and say the same thing, no matter who's in it. But you have to look at blacks and say, enough is enough. We gotta stop, accusing Whitey of being racist, and then looking to Whitey for money, in the form of some sort of government program or what have you. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard of. Go to the person that you think is actually oppressing you and get money from them. One, that's akin to extortion, and two, you're saying he's your master. Plain and simple. So, go out there, act like you're a human being, and frankly, I don't care what the color of your skin is. This is advice for all ethnic backgrounds. When you're interacting out there in the public, act like you have manners, like you have some sense, like you're intelligent, like you're a human being and know how to interact with other human beings. Plain and simple. You don't go out there looking for fights. You don't go out there looking to break rules. You don't go out there trying to improperly engage the police. Because let's face it, look, you're going to lose. If you improperly engage the police, you're going to lose. And you have more to lose than they do. Namely, your life. Now, I know that there are people out there who are going to think, wow, Rod is off the deep end on this one, man. He is so... No, I am dead on. And I have never been more serious about something in all my life. Black folk need to act like they're human, not animalistic. We got to cut this crap out. We have got to stop listening to these race pimps and race baiters. Every time there's a police interaction with the black community, that it's racism. Look, there are some white kids who are being chased down and bumped around, all that kind of stuff at this pool party. If you look at the videos, they just weren't targeting blacks. So, but you got to also say, it looks like that the girl that Eric Casebolt, now I could be right, it's hard to tell, but it looks like the girl that Eric Casebolt had pinned down was one of the girls involved in the fight in the previous video that happened before the cops arrived. Now, he probably wanted to talk to her, and she probably mouthed off or said something to him, because that's what they do. And then there you go. And I know people feel emboldened a lot of times because they look at video and they see some of these people, talking about how they put a cop in their place. Look, you got to be careful with that kind of crap. Because sometimes it's staged, for one. Some of it has been proven to be staged, and it's just not real. And sometimes it's not that the cops are just saying, okay, well, we'll just let you go. But they're busy with other matters, and they don't have time to deal with foolishness. And if they have no suspicion that you're hiding or doing anything illegal, they're going to let you go anyway. Now, you can be rude to a cop all you want, and if they don't have any suspicion to detain you, they're going to let you go. But you can facilitate the process by at least attempting to cooperate. You don't have to say a lot. You can just say, no, officer, yes, officer. Not and free to go. Am I being detained? I'm free to go, officer. Thank you. Pretty simple. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be belligerent. Because you try that, you should do like the comedian Fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias, have fun with the cops. If they pull you over for some reason, try to make them laugh, have some fun. They would love that. lighthearted traffic stop. Most likely, you get on a cop's good side, and they're more likely to overlook certain things or give you a warning and not a ticket. And if anything, they might remember who you are for next time and not even bother you unless you're doing something flagrant. And be straightforward with them. Hey, know how fast you're going? No. I really don't. I thought I was doing the speed limit, but my head was in the clouds. I was thinking of something. Sorry, officer. I probably was exceeding the limit, but maybe, I thought maybe it would, this is I was doing 70 and a 65. I don't know. But if you just say, yeah, I know. I was kind of in a hurry because I was late for this or that, and I really don't do this often, but I apologize. And just be friendly, kind, courteous, and try to make them laugh too. I made a cop laugh once. A couple of days, I hit a deer and took out my front right headlight. And it was a couple of days later, and this trooper pulls me over. Says, I pulled you over because you're missing a headlight. And I said, yeah, I know. Let me tell you, it's the most expensive way to bag a deer possible. And he looked at me kind of funny. He said, yeah, I hit a deer and I have to get a new headlight. And let me tell you, it's going to cost a pretty penny. It probably would have been cheaper if I just got a hunting license and went out and shot the stupid thing. And he actually cracked up. And you know what? He didn't even ask for my license and registration. He just said, well, maybe you should avoid deer from now on. I said, trust me. Those stupid little deer things, they don't work. And he was cracking up going back to his cruiser. So, just be kind and upfront with them. They'll understand. They're human beings, for crying out loud. They can make mistakes just like the rest of us. Now, I don't care, what your training is. They can make a mistake just like the rest of us. But if you're going to act a fool, they're going to treat you like a fool. Plain and simple. If you're going to be utterly defensive and abusive, well, they're going to be abusive right back. So if you're going to act a fool and they show up, you got to ask yourself, well, why are they showing up to begin with? It's probably because I was acting a fool. And then if you act a fool and they show up, then you really don't have much, nobody to blame but yourself. So don't act a fool. Don't, and stop all of this. I see this stuff, this cop block stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. Quit it. Quit reading that crap. Because they don't give you both sides of the story. I firmly believe that it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to film or video police officers doing their job. That's fine. But don't be using this stuff one-sided just to try to get the police in trouble, because it's going to backfire on you. It's going to backfire. And then one day when you really need them, and you probably will need them, they're not going to come as quickly as you thought they would. Or they may not be as understanding as you need them to be. So, yeah, sure, pull out your camera and start recording, but make sure that you understand that you're not getting the whole incident. And that when you start showing that around, you tell people, well, this is my point of view from when I started filming. Not this is what happened. Because evidently and obviously, such is the case in Texas. That first video, 7-minute video, that's not what happened. That's not the full story. We got somebody who shot some video earlier, before the cops got there. That gives us a more complete story, doesn't it? Oh, there's a fight, and they're not following the pool rules. Oh, well, maybe that's why the cops showed up.